Happy Mother's Day, everybody. You all look beautiful. So we are here to have a nice tea party and talk about our moms, being a mom, life in general. It'll be good.
That this happy day bring you sunshine, contentment, and everything gay. And may this card add much to your Mother's Day cheer, that I love you more dearly with each coming year.
Aww.
Well, my husband and I was expecting our first child, okay, and you're very nervous, and then we decided it was after midnight. We got in our car, there was snow on the road, it was in February up north in Buffalo, and we took off to go to the hospital, and as we did, we ran into another car that started tooting at us. Well, how many people are you going to know at 3 in the morning? They're out on the road. But it was somebody my husband had been hanging around, and they were coming, leaving someplace, and they recognized us. So they yelled at us and said, hey, it's a... And my husband went back and said, hey, I'm having a baby. And they said, you are? Just like that, you are? It just came out funny.
And he was a, neighborhood doctor, lived down the road. So he said, oh, Irene, if that's where you're at now, it's time to go to the hospital. I said, well, Vinny's not here. He's at the firehouse. So he said, okay, I'll come and pick you up. So he came, well, you were in a neighborhood. So he came and picked me up. And of course my mother has to come. So we're sitting in the front of the seat. He's there, I'm in the middle, my mother's here. And he says to me, how do you feel? I said, it's so hot in here, I was sweating. So he says, well, I just picked up my car today and I don't know how to turn the heat off. So we're sitting there and I'm going, oh, I can't breathe anymore. And my mother is going to stop all the pains. She puts her hand on me. And I said, Mom, go away. Well, my mother and the doctor are arguing about how to take care of me. And finally he says to me, if you don't have the baby in my car, you can have the baby free.
Moved to Florida, wanted to learn how to water ski. He was a teenager, and the girls kept trying. They try, but he always said they couldn't get their butt up out of the water. But anyway, they wanted to go out this one day, and they came home, and everybody's ready to go. And we looked in at my husband, and he was watching something on TV, and he'd fallen asleep. And I said, no, we're not going to wake him up. He's tired, or something like that. And they were so disappointed. So I said, I'll take you out. I'd driven the boat before, but not taken it out of the dock and brought it back in and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, bottom line is, we were on the river. I took him out through the canal, and when he got up on the skis, I had to pull over because I almost landed him on the land and that kind of thing. So we pulled back. This was down at Sunnyland. We had put a dock in behind our house. So I'm trying to pull him. My husband's standing at the end of the dock, just shaking his head like, I can't believe this. And she took the boat out, and she's gonna park it now.
We were kids about 8, 9, 10, and lived in the country, so we were going to have a fruit stand. Well, in the country, people don't go out there looking for little kids' fruit stands. They go to the fruit markets and things. So we ran around, we robbed a chicken coop in the garden, and we had carrots, and we had flowers, and peaches, whatever we could find out in the orchards, and it was nice little displaying. We had a tin table, umbrella, and a homemade sign. My dad said, you kids are never going to sell any of this out here. And I said, I bet you if I double my money, will you double it if I do? He said, yeah, I will. So we waited and we waited and we waited, and some Chicago people, we were not too far from Chicago, about 100 miles around the lake, but we were a resort out there. They were driving through the country. And of course we look cute. We're kids with a sign, and we're waving them down and everything. And they came over and they said, well, we'll buy your flowers and we'll buy a couple peaches. I said, wait a minute. You buy everything here for $5? He said, well, I really don't need all this stuff, but I said, well, if you do, we can double our money. He said, give it to me. So I went to my dad and I said, flash it a $5 bill. We made $10.
The tulips outside my door
Okay.
that my daughter made for me.
Okay.
Denise put out a chocolate cake that she and the babysitter the night before made for Mother's Day. So she puts it out in the living room, fixed it all up very pretty, and we went off to church. We had a Labrador Retriever who was just a puppy. He was the cutest thing. And we put him in the den with the gate and everything. We came home, in the living room was the chocolate cake all over the floor, eaten up, and the dog knew he did something wrong. He's hiding with his behind hanging out. And it was the funniest thing. She's laughing hysterically, and my carpet, my couch, everything is ruined. And they had a good time having a laugh over that.
I'm sure.
Happy Mother's Day.